Okay, yes, that was me. Well, sometimes even I don't feel that that's actually me who's actually doing so much. And anyhow, sometimes I actually surprise my own self that how did I do it? Did I plan it? Did I not plan it? Did it just happen on its own? Sometimes I feel it's the divine connection that probably works. And one thing that they always say that your body achieves what your mind believes. And this is something I truly believe in because once your mind is convinced, once your body is convinced, your mind, sorry, your body can achieve everything once your mind is convinced about it. And well, so while I was growing up, I've been a fighter. I was a sports star at school. I've been a basketball player, a chess player, and I loved dancing. Just like a normal girl, a conventional style thought process, I made sure that I would work hard. I'll earn money. I'll have a good house, get married, settle. Just a conventional way. There was no other backup plan of my life. And I was very clear that this is what I want to do, this is how it will be, and that's the plan. And I worked in the aviation industry for many years. And I applied in Vistara Airlines in 2015, December. I got a dream package, a designation, and I thought, this is it. This is exactly what I wanted. There was this guy I met in life, and there were many, everybody was talking about marriage and just the way it happens. So I thought, okay, this is perfect. Everything is in my control. Let's take a break. Let's go to Goa with my friends and my sister. Let's celebrate. And in 2016, February, we were in Goa. We just reached the property where we were staying. And since the excited person I've always been, and adventurous too, that let's do this, we were just about to start the trip. And I said, let's take the first picture. And that picture never got clicked. Because the balcony suddenly broke, and 5 of us fell down from that balcony. Thank God my sister was on the other side. I've always been very, very grateful to God for that. She quickly called the ambulance, and we started asking for help from people around the resort. And since we were in that concrete area near the Anjana beach, it was difficult for the ambulance to reach all the way where the fall had happened, and we were all unconscious. Imagine 5 people lying unconscious, and for the one person to manage everybody and kind of provide medical aid and get the ambulance work and everything to be done. With a lot of difficulty, we were put in the ambulances and we were taken to the hospital in Goa, where we realized and we got to know that my ribs had broken. My lung got punctured, my left lung got punctured, and I also need a spine surgery. My mother works in the medical background, with the hospitals very closely. So we tried to get the best doctors. We tried to airlift me and bring me back to Delhi, but then that was difficult at that time because my lung got punctured. So we had to get the surgery done in Goa. So she sat with the doctors, talking to her doctors in Delhi to understand who's the best doctor, what is the procedure, and how will the whole thing work now. And in that whole process, the surgery happened in Goa. And after the surgery, after about 3 weeks, we came back to Delhi. I came back to Delhi as a stretcher case. And we straight went to Indian Spinal Injury Center, which is in Vasant Kunj, because my state was so delicate at that time that I was lying down. I couldn't even sit straight that time. So there was no point in there was no way we could have taken me back to the house. So we came to Indian Spinal Injury Center, and I was under the team, the spine team, the best doctors over there, and I was put on a rigorous physiotherapy and my rehabilitation program. I was admitted in the hospital for about 3 months. Um, Till then, we did not know what is spinal cord injury all about and its conditions, that how devastating actually the situation can actually be. Till then, I thought the surgeries happened. It's okay, it's normal. We all fall down. Sometimes we break our legs, sometimes we break our ankles, sometimes hands, shoulder. 6 months, 3 months, 9 months, I'll be fine. The fighter I've been, I always thought that I'll come out of it. I'll bounce back. I'll be fine. Unless one day, my sister and I, we sat with the doctor in Indian Spinal Injury Center, and I had all sort of questions to ask him that, when will I start working? When can I go back home? When will I go back to my job? Which was very recent, Vistara. So I kept asking him all these questions, and and he kept listening to me. He still saw that a lot of excitement was within me, that, it's probably not yet gone in, that what's really happened of the situation. Anyhow, with a very heavy voice, he said that it's very unlikely that you may walk ever again. And we've all heard that in split of a second, the life changes. And that was the time, that was the moment I realized that, oh my God, it's something really big that has happened, and I'm not realizing what has probably happened. I started my physiotherapy. I'd gained a lot of weight after my surgery. I was almost 3 times of what I am right now. It was very difficult for me to shift from the bed to the wheelchair and back. And it was difficult to do exercises. I was exercising for almost 5 hours every day in that severe pain in my back and the entire body. The surgery had just happened. How we all treat somebody right after a surgery is, oh, be careful, oh, just don't do this in a very different manner, just be careful. And I was made to do all those exercises because I'd lost so much muscle power. I was made to sit back after 3 weeks, and I had no muscle power. No muscle power. Like if I would sit, I would fall. I needed support. In that condition, they're asking me to do exercises and physiotherapy for 5 hours. But I did it. I didn't give up, because exercises was always something I never was scared of or was not lazy about. I said, okay, let's push it. Let's try and push it. But it was very difficult that time, because I felt pain everywhere. And so when I started hearing about all of this, there was way too much information to take in all go. The accident, the fall, back to Delhi, may not go back to job. There was way too much to think. And I think that's the time I just shut myself for some time, and I said, let's not think anything right now. I went blank for some time. And I didn't think what's going to happen now, whether I'm going to walk again, whether I'm not going to walk again, about my job and everything, nothing. I just paused for some time. I sat quietly, and I was just breathing loud to myself, and I said, I think the most important thing right now, that time for me, was that I'm alive. Because the kind of things we heard in Goa, there was news coming, and then the the team and journalists and all of that. So I think the first thing that I felt was that I'm alive and I'm breathing. And I have my family and my friends with me. I'm not alone. I'm just not alone who's not able to move or anything. I have my family. They're very supportive. We're all in it together. We'll see what happens. Right now, let's just forget all those questions coming into the head. I took one day at a time. I decided to cope up with today, just today. Nothing about tomorrow right now. Just today. I'm going to get up, get onto my chair, go to the washroom, take my shower, wear my own clothes. So that I had to learn everything like how a baby learns to get up, to sit, to turn, wear my clothes. So I was doing all of that once again in life. Then second, so the exercises were going on. That was still something I was ready to cope up with. I was just like I said, I was taking one day at a time. We'll see how everything goes. But one more tougher thing that I had to deal that time was how people were looking at me. It was like everywhere I went, I had people staring at me like a helpless girl sitting on the wheelchair. And that was something which was very, very difficult for me to cope up with. I don't blame them. They didn't know what to say to me. They didn't know how to react towards me. All they did was just stare. So of course, these kind of differences that I was feeling within me, it was a very, very difficult time. If I still talk about it today, yeah, you all can see what's happening. But anyway, that's what we're here to overcome. Differences are very painful. It's very hard to be positive during that time. But what I also learned was that these differences, I am not going to let these differences define my situation. It was very important, and what I did was I wanted to reimagine myself in absolutely a different way of how people are looking at me, what people want to talk about me. It all didn't matter. And overcoming that was the toughest part, and yet it was the time for me to transform also. So after the exercises, after coping up with all of this, after about 1.5 years of continuous physiotherapy, walking practice, in the same hospital, I also started working. So in the last 1.5 years, I'd worked on myself, I'd empowered myself mentally, emotionally, physically. It was also time for me to financially also get independent and support myself. And so I joined the marketing team of the same hospital, as if it just fell into the place the right way. I couldn't have asked anything more that time. So it was like a schedule. I would get ready, just the same way I used to go to office every day. I would get ready in the morning, work till about 2 o'clock in the hospital, and then from 2 to 5, do my exercises. And this was the best thing that could have happened to me that time. If anything related to medical or anything that related to my comfort or being shifted, anything that I was worried or conscious about, everything was taken care of. It's like ISIC made me a tigress once again. So it's been about 5 years, 6 years that I've been working with the hospital. I counsel young girls and boys in the hospital who've just had a spinal cord injury, and they're in a very devastating situation. So I realized that only by sitting with them and talking to them, just being heard, these young kids, just being heard was enough for them. Probably they connected with me because they saw me also being on the wheelchair and how I cope up with my activities, daily routines, how I do so much. They were very inspired to see all of this. And talking to them, encouraging them, always used to give me so much of inner motivation and achievement too, that if I'm able to motivate even one person out of all this, I'm so happy and I feel blessed. I feel so blessed. Spirituality is something that I learned about more after my injury. Before my accident, I was very religious. I would go to the mandir, I would go to the gurdwara on daily basis. I would pray to God. But after the accident, obviously going daily physically was not that easy. So I used to do whatever I could with my pure heart and intentions. But I started connecting a lot with my inner self. I used to sit alone. I used to talk to myself. All those questions would suddenly come again and again in the mind, but I had to calm myself all the time about it, that it's okay, it'll be fine, it'll be fine. It was like not every morning I would get up and I would be this bright and shiny and positive and yes, let's go for it kind of a person. Not all mornings are the same. No, I have to work on them always, whenever I'm feeling that. I always have to put in that effort and then settle my thoughts again that yes, you're okay. Because there have been times when I've just woken up and I'm like, what just happened to me? I'm probably having a dream or something and it's broken and I've woken up with my alarm and I'm like, what is the reality and what was I dreaming about? So I've been a lot into those confusions also in the initial stages. So every time I had to I had to calm myself down. So it's like getting up in the morning also and I just can't get up and go to the washroom. You know, I have to get up, place myself on the wheelchair, propel, and then go. It's a little extra effort. It is a little extra effort, but I've kind of not let it bother me or hid it in my head too much. So spirituality was something that I started just connecting with myself, with my inner thoughts, with whatever I wanted to do. And power of surrendering. This is something, it helped me a lot. It's very difficult. We just talk about it, but I'm sure not everyone can probably achieve it to that level the way one should actually do. Power of surrendering came with me because there were actually so many times that I didn't know what to do. There was some situation that's come up and I don't know what to do with it. So I actually just prayed to God and I left it to him. Please take over, I don't know. It's difficult. For me, it became a situation like this. Just let it be, let God take care of it. And then every time I saw myself in a tough situation or a task that needed to be done, I said, let's pause again. So I do a lot of this, pause. Don't react, pause. Give it break. So I would pause and then I'll wait for it to just happen. And actually I've seen it in my life that if I don't take a decision that time or something, some decision, some divine decision has happened and the situation has automatically happened on its own. Or the task that I had to do has happened on its own. I actually felt it. And I think this is the best that could have happened. मैं क्या करूँगी? मतलब it's the best thing that would have happened. So power to actually surrender to the universe. This is something I tasted, I developed, and I love in that it's when I'm in that situation, that it'll happen. So one thing that I really believe in is that everything will have a solution. Just wait and see what is the solution or what is the ray of hope that's going to show you the solution. Don't get upset, don't get paranoid. ये क्यों हो गया? ये कैसे हो गया? It's life. Something will keep happening. These are different episodes. Everything will happen, some situation, everything doesn't go to the way you want it to work. And I think it's very beautiful also. You don't know what's going to be the next chapter. And it's all right. Let it unfold on its own. And that's what I really do. I just let things sometimes flow. So this is when it comes to me being more spiritual now, and I think I just love that. I'm blessed that I can feel this and I can taste this. So many times I felt that when I was walking, I didn't do so much in life. It's like we take it for granted. Aaj nahi kal ho jayega. It's okay, we can go there, we can come back. For me, I even have to calculate that sometimes. You know, like for example, if I have to take this laptop and go till there, normally people go there and then come back and then again pick the laptop and then go back. So I will calculate. From here I'll go there, pick up the laptop, then go there. I calculate all this so that I make less of my rounds. So this is like not taking it for granted. After the accident, when I sat, I realized that there's so much I've been doing. For me, sometimes I feel 24 hours is like a less of time. For you, it's like I might be sitting, but in my head, I'm running. I always say this. Like, I always tell my sister about it. Sukh, that I'm sitting, but there's so much I have to do, so much that I have to do, and I have to run, and I have to do things. Office, videos, counseling sessions. It's like my day is packed, and I love that, and I love that. So, like I said in the beginning when I fumbled, it's the body can achieve everything. It's your mind that needs to be convinced. And in the video, you must have seen that I started driving. So this was my ultimate step. It's been 7 years to my accident now. And in the entire rehabilitation program, my final step was driving a car, which I achieved almost 2 years back. I used to love driving before my accident also. So if we are out somewhere or as a get-together with friends, I was a one always on the driving seat. So that is something I missed a lot. And so when I started driving, I got my car modified in the hospital only. So Indian Spinal Injuries, I'll quickly share this with you, specializes in spine and bones. Spine is their core specialty. And it was strange that in the beginning, I am made to sit in conferences, and I'm sitting with people and doctors and patients, hearing about spine surgeries. I've seen a live surgery, spine surgery happening in the auditorium. And I can't tell you how that feeling was. So I exactly knew what happened in my back and what kind of a surgery and the way the screws are put in all. I've seen that live. So anyway, that was very, very, I cried and I cried after that, and I said, what am I doing in this auditorium? I should just step out. This is not for me right now. I was way too young, it was way too early for me to see all that. But it made me strong, I guess. It all made me strong. So I'm working with spine doctors now. We counsel kids, like I said. So going back to the driving part, we modify cars within the hospital. We encourage all people, all youngsters on the wheelchair in the hospital to live a life on the wheelchair in your own independent manner. You do not have to be dependent. That is what the goal is in the hospital. That is what I do in the hospital. So after driving, I recently also went to Rishikesh, where we did rafting. That was also a great, great experience. I am blessed that I had a wonderful family and wonderful friends who've been by my side, who have given me a lot of encouragement, a lot of love, a lot of care, and they at least never made me feel that I'm on the wheelchair. My mom, she still scolds me. She still tells me, you need to do this, like any other normal girl. I'm never made feel too extra special of being on the wheelchair, and I think I really like that. I really like that. I don't I really don't want that extra. Just treat me normally. That's the biggest thing which I really feel good about. So when I started doing all these activities, my dance videos is something I think you all must have seen into glimpses or in the video that I love dancing. So dancing is something which I loved doing, like I said in the beginning. So what I thought was that if I dance, there is something, it's a lot of movement. Dance is all about moving. Doesn't matter if you're moving from one point to the other point. Even when I'm sitting, even when I'm on the same point, I'm still dancing. So I always felt that when I'm dancing, there are some kind of happy hormones that are going to be released in the body, because it really makes me happy when I dance. So some connection that broke within the nerves, the damage that happened in the spine, it might just have a current and it might just start again.
Yes, it will.
Yeah, I feel that. So like my sister always says that you were named Karishma. Miracle is because probably you are going to show one in your life. And probably this is the one which I'm going to be working on. So when everyone started seeing my videos, whatever I do, rolling around on the wheelchair, I started getting a lot of emails and DMs, people asking me about it. And that was a time when I came out and I actually started talking about it. That it is important for me to come out and talk about it, tell people how I cope up with my things, how I cope up with my daily activities. And that's how Girl on Hotwheels was also found. That it is all going to be under one umbrella, that I'll talk everything about my life and how I do my activities and how I feel about it. So this is not a wheelchair. This is Hot Wheels. So in the end, I just want to say that I am Girl on Hot Wheels here to bring in and talk about an inclusive environment and support and tell people that have empathy towards people of any kind of disability, because they just want to be treated as normal people. And that's why they say that, and that's what recently I learned. It's POD, people of determination.